Alright, in this video I'm going to write a small bash script which will basically do check the available binary in the path. Why it is necessary? Because this script or few lines which I'm going to write in a script can be infused in other script to check out the prerequisite of doing something specific. In other words, you can say the script I'm going to write in this video can be infused in other script which could be doing something else. Okay, this is a kind of sanitary check or flight check before doing anything. Okay, so this is pretty ordinary, but I think this is very helpful, okay, to find out early in your execution of script that everything in place, so you won't get any surprise when the actual script gets run to perform the task, right? So without further ado, let me get into my Emacs, and I have created a file check command. Let's write a script. Okay, user bin env, it will be essentially a bash script. Let me define a variable. So define a variable which holds several binaries to check. My required binaries, and if I do some arbitrary binary name, okay, which your actual script might be looking for or dependent on. Like here I'm giving foo bar heck lsof df. I throw up few known and few unknown so you can see the difference, okay? And randomly gtk yget, I don't know whether that is a binary or not. I'm just throwing out few values in a which will be stored in a my required binaries, okay? And we need to assign a counter to whether then we can enhance it later, right? Required counter, okay, is assigned to 0. That's a standard practice. Let me comment it out so it will be, if you read it out, it will be, this is an counter to help later to increment and decrement stuff, okay? So I believe I'm explicit enough. You can read through the comments also. I'm trying to put a comment. So let run the for, do, and if loop together to get the desired result, okay? So let me write for required binaries, okay? So that is the variable in my required, you can see required binaries, okay? Then start the do loop, okay? And the indentation is too much, so if I check it with hash is a function which basically help to remember the stuff. It will show you there are flags. It will show you the full path of the binary. But if you run hash and it will basically allow the shell to remember the commands, okay, you have in your path. Okay, so I'm checking if it is not able to remember. Dollar required binaries. If I type properly, then I throw the unnecessary stuff to dev null, and also I throw the std error to std output. Okay, and then if I say then we need to write printf, okay, the number of commands in the path, okay, then give the string value padded with new line, okay, and then simply call up the variable required variables, okay, sorry, required binaries, and then throw away the every other thing. Okay, so this is getting pretty. I'm trying to fix the stuff should fit in one line, otherwise it will be difficult. Okay, okay, let's try now. I'll fix it later. Not supposed to be here, right? Anyway, let me get on. I'll fix it later. So now we need to enhance the counter. Okay, so what we have to do, required counter, increment it. Okay, so once it is done, we can close the for loop, if loop, okay, and then we should close the done. Okay, now we need to find out what are the missing part, right? For that we need to write a if statement. If the required counter is greater than 0, okay, then another print step. This %d means the numeric value, number of this number of commands are missing, so aborting. Okay, padded with a new line, and then call up I don't know why it is required counter. Okay, then throw up everything else to a steady error. Now simply close the if loop. This is all we want. Okay, so if and only if the formatting is not get garbled, So we should see some result. Okay, I'm reiterating again. So okay, let me sip my cup of coffee. The coffee tastes good. So here what we did, I'm going through again. I put some bunch of binaries which are required. As I said, this is a Sentinel script or piece of code which can be fused in other script which could be doing much more thing. These are the pre-flight check, and we have to assign the counter, initialize with 0, then we run a for loop with do and then f to check if the commands are remembered in the path, and then we have to increment the binaries, okay, binary counter. Then we have to also check if something is missing, so we should exit out, okay, and here should be an exit statement. Okay, so if everything goes well and if I typed well, if I save this, now let me give it a execution permission, and this is the file, and if I write 755 to give it a execution permission, then if I run Control C, Control X, and keep your finger crossed, press. See, I told you this is the problem. So okay, seems I made a silly mistake. Okay, and I'm trying to see, it is not Control C, Control X, and 2. Again it is showing. Why? This is the damn formatting. It is causing trouble. Okay. It should be fine if I format. Such a mess. Okay. I'm doing it by hand just to show you that this is really stupid thing, but this is creating trouble. That's why. here is a missing. I'm live debugging. I'm live debugging it. Such a silly thing, but okay. See, now it's run properly. Okay, so pardon my silly stuff by debugging it live, because the format got messed up in Emacs, so I have to do a lot of stuff by hand painfully, as you can see. But now on the right hand buffer you can see that it executed properly. I have mentioned few stuff in a variable. I'm showing all this just to make sure that you get it. Okay, so this is a pretty ordinary bash script, okay, whose whole and sole purpose is to check the binary present in the path. If it is not, it's throw out and abort it. So this script can be inducted in other script which will do the actual stuff. Okay, so this is a kind of Sentinel script or piece of code which can be inducted to other script. And on the right hand side buffer you can see it spit out that these 4 binaries out of 6, if you read it, okay, so are missing, so it is aborting. Say there are 4 commands are missing, so aborting. I think this is very helpful. It actually helped me, so that's why I'm making this video, just to, this is a very little thing, but it might come in handy when you do a much better stuff and wanted to pre-flight check kind of stuff, that later once your actual script run, you should not get any kind of surprise that this is missing, that is missing, and that's why it's so. Very first, if you place this piece of code in a critical script and required stuff, you can put other stuff also. I'm looking out for the binaries because the other script might be dependent on those binaries which could be used by that script. It could be other thing also. You can take a queue and implement in that fashion. Okay, so this is a pretty ordinary deal. And as you can see, I have done a lot of stuff by hand because the things get messed up a little bit. So never mind those. I hope you got the essence, right? Why I'm showing this to you. This is extremely useful to me. That's why I'm making this video. I hope it will be useful for some people. Thanks for watching.